Hello. Every story, good story, can start from an end, and end of this story is a Titan trap I created in the Imperium staging system. But before we will go to this trap, I want to go through the whole story, because if online is a game where players write their own story, and like about 1.5 years ago, I shared the first chapter of mine. I will just go through, fast through it, because for those who don't remember, it started with a single Kestrel that was blobbed by Pandemic Horde, and that loss sparked a fire that led to me inflicting 1 trillion ISK in damage to Pandemic Horde. And even after hitting that insane milestone, I stayed in Horde space, dropping blobs just, for fun. But then there was an incident that switched my focus from Horde to Imperium, and I will show you what was the action. So I will just start the movie and start talking. This is not my movie, this is Slavbal movie. So basically, when I was hunting in Horde space, Gunsworm fleet commander Slav approached me on Priv, and he proposed that we can join forces and drop blobs together. And I told him I would love to, but first I had real life duties that day and I had to go offline. And like 2 days later, this action is 2 days later from our talk, I looked in my blobs and my hunter alt, and right there behind the Keepstar, I see Slav trapping Horde JF in drag bubble. And remembering his offer, I dropped my blobs right onto the Horde JF to kill it before Horde response fleet would save it. And then what happened is that Gunsworm interceptor fleet completely ignored the Horde jump fighter, and they tackled my blobs instead. And I was stunned, like we had literally talked about working together 2 days prior. And after, Gunsworm fleet wiped out my blobs, I reached out to Slav on Priv, and I asked for a SRP or just new hulls in Jita, and he refused. I told him that if he will not replace my blobs, I will move to Imperium space and take those ISK back myself. And he not only denied, but he also used our private messages and logs in his YouTube video. So basically I moved my hunting grounds to Imperium space. And then came the Discord messages from Slavbak that, lol, are you really blobsing on us now? Why so personal? So I reminded him what happened, and that I'm still waiting for the hulls. And I will just walk away from Imperium space if basically he will give me the 4 Widow hulls back. And he said that, quoting, "I'm gonna be blunt, you losing those ships is your own fault. No one is replacing shit. You can farm knobs all you want, I don't care where you do it." Okay, so I was like, challenge accepted. And I moved to Imperium space. Here is basically the summary from this timeline, like 1.5 years ago, from all of the Imperium regions and all of my characters. As you can see, I reached the 1 trillion kills in more than 3,000 kill mails. I will share this link later so you can check, but basically all evidence is here. So, like, the second part was like Imperium paying the debt for my blobs. So I packed my things and moved all ships like blobs, bombers, rapiers, Cynos to Imperium space. And I began the campaign of, hunting. And Slav could have paid 5 billion ISK, or just, give me the 4 Widow hulls back. But instead, his ego cost the Imperium over 1 trillion ISK in losses. And I personally extracted between 150 to 200 billion ISK just from asset safety, because I didn't loot it all. And you know, during this and previous crusade, I ticked off some major milestones on my hunting checklist. I will go fast through it. So first of all, I catched the Nidhoggur in a horde space, and basically I killed the Nidhoggur solo, using my multi-box setup with 5 accounts. Here is the kill. Second, I found out the Rorqual. The Rorqual was AFK, so basically I bumped the Rorqual using the blobs, the Panther, from Tether. And the Rorqual like woke up before the, as you can see, he's repairing, so he woke up before the end, but I managed to kill him. Here is the kill. And later I even managed to catch Horde Dreadnought and drop blobs on the Horde Dreadnought, doing the capital anomaly and also killing him using the blobs. Here is the kill mail. And basically I managed to do that even in the gun staging when I warped the Zirnitra, and I killed the Zirnitra on, like, you know, perch, safe spot, or how even you call it. So even with a carrier, Rorqual and 2 dreads dead, like the ultimate goal were still out there, to kill a super carrier or a titan, you know, without help of anyone. So this is the part 3, when I created plans to kill super carrier or titan. This map will be used when I will explain the super carrier trap, because I had a theory that was ruined by galactic politics. So basically when Imperium was pushing Horde from the south, I predicted that some of cowards will try to, because all of the roads to Veil of the Silent was observed by FDZ group. The only road to Fraternity that was not observed was the road through Venal. So I assumed that when Imperium will push on the Horde, some cowards may try to, you know, run through this gate from Perigan Falls to Venal and then move to Fraternity space to, you know, join Fraternity. So what I did, I moved 4 Zirnitra and a Devoter and locked them off on the MTO2 gate in the HD-JVQ system in Venal. And a few days later, Goblins announced he is dissolving the Alliance. So basically, you know, my plan of solo catching some guy who is trying to, you know, take the regional gate went to shit, because like the whole horde tried to run away through this gate, and this gate was observed by every group in New Eden all the time. So I managed to evacuate my Zirnitras to the PF-Q NPC station, and basically sell Zirnitras there to the boss guys. By the way, shout out to you guys. And I shifted back to different mechanic because I went to the Imperium space again. So I realized that the easiest way to get blingy kills is just to invite them to fleet. Because, you know, every big block is unwhoring keepstars and citadels in a way so they can fast warp after undock. So basically I use that to warp off people, invite them to fleet, and warp off people to safe spot and kill them on safe spot. And, you know, with this trick I killed like almost 500 billion in less than 2 months, so it was pretty effective. Also I did some, you know, bubbling behind the keepstar, but anyway you can see that it was pretty, the fleet inviting is pretty effective tactic. So if I could fleet warp JF and Dread, why not fleet warp a Titan? So I set up a Miro board to plan the ultimate solo Titan trap. And first, I just wanted to catch Travel Fit Titan. So I observed the Gun Titans undocking, and I realized that, you know, travel fit Titans usually don't have guns fitted. They have smart bombs and, you know, nades and other stuff, but not guns. So basically, I took screenshots with all of the gun Titans where they have guns or you know, launchers, so I can fast check after they undock if they are travel fit or not. And I had planned that I will use one hell to kill travel fit Titan, because travel fit Titans don't have tank at all. But after, you know, a few days, I bought the hell from a friend in space, and move the hell to the Imperium staging. But after a few days, I realized that it's like no one have travel fit Titans there. They have tank fit Titans that they used to breach. So I had to, you know, change my plan. So I bought second hell in Misaba and moved it across like multiple regions to staging in CJ. But still, mathematically, the DPS wasn't enough to beat the clock before the response fleet arrived. But in the discussion, because I was discussing this, you know, trap with the no 1v1 guys from Deepwater Hooligans, and in the discussion, my friend shared with me this screenshot. And on this screenshot you can see Zirnitra that survived Doomsday from Ragnarok with, you know, huge amount of HP. And I was like, I don't know why, but I always assumed Dread would just instantly vaporize from the Doomsday, and realizing it could survive, I added Zirnitra to the grid plan. So this was the whole plan. So basically, for the characters, I have adjusted my Titan plan, and I had 2 hells as a DPS, each hell having like 30,000 DPS. I added Zirnitra with T2 guns, 40,000 DPS. I had also Devoter to Anchor, Stop Bubble, and Tackle Titan, and I had Cenotaph used, you know, to Fleet Invite, Fleet Warp Titan, and basically used as DPS later. And what I did is that using kill mails from Atiot, I calculated the raw EHP of Imperium Titans against my exact damage profile. I have it here in the Titan Trap damage profile in the Pytha. And I knew how long it would take me to melt an Erebus or an Avatar. That's why I had the EM and Thermal Hardeners on my Zirnitra, because I hunted only those 2 type of Titans. But, you know, I was worried that Imperium will realize what I'm planning, so to keep the illusion alive, I only hunted Titans during late USTZ or early China time zone, when gun response times are historically slowest. And outside of those hours, I only killed JFs and Freighters, like here, so, you know, nobody would suspect the Titan trap was waiting. So what the trap was about, here is the grid graph. I had the deep safe spot bookmark that are in line of the gun mine staging Keepstar. By the way, thank you to Lord Road for these bookmarks. I took these bookmarks from Lord Road, invited me to Phoenix Navy issue kill, and when we were killing this Phoenix Navy issue, I did bookmark the spot, and basically I used this spot later for the Titan trap. So thank you. But going back to the trap, what was the idea? The idea was that one character in the Devoter will anchor a bubble, medium bubble, to stop reinforcements warping directly to Titan, and then Devoter will warp to Titan spot to hold Titan here. Cenotaph and Zirnitra will work as a DPS, close range DPS, and also Cenotaph will scram Devoter, so they will not bush him off. I'm not sure if, you know, Devoter can be bushed off with the bubble on, but to be sure, Cenotaph was cramming as you can see here, Cenotaph was cramming the Devoter. Those here are the super carriers, so they were logged off 100 km from the Titan spot, and basically they launched fighters here and warped to the perch outside of Titan Doomsday range. So as you can see, both the anchored bubble and the supercarriers were outside of Titan Doomsday range. Subcaps were, you know, Titan cannot hit subcaps with the Doomsday, and the only ship like available as a target for the Titan Doomsday is the Zirnitra, but as we already know, Zirnitra can tank the Doomsday. So basically that was the idea of the trap. You know, it's complicated to multi-box on 5 accounts, so basically I had like step-by-step guide what I need to do, what I need to click on each account, so I will not make a mistake during the action. And I had opened that during the action, and I had the evacuation plan. Of course, it's censored right now, but you know, in all of the systems I had planned evacuation roads. I have deep safe spots, a few per system, etc. So I can, you know, run with my health. And by the way, my health are, my supercarriers are safe right now. Okay, so we are going to the last part, so chasing the dream of Titan kill. And we have this situation. So the first time I pulled it off, adrenaline was pumping. I successfully fleet warped an avatar whose pilot clearly panicked. But in the heat of the moment, I made a critical error. I warped him to my JF hunting grid instead of my preceded Titan trap grid. As you can see, I locked him here the supercarriers, I locked the Zirnitra, and then I realized the Titan is on different safe spot. As you can see here in the location bookmark window, the T underscore warp off is the Titan warp off spot, but I forgot to remove the dots from the odd warp fars bookmark, and this is the bookmark for killing the JFs. So yeah, basically when I first managed to warp off a Titan, I warp it off to wrong bookmark. Yeah. So today I got the second chance. I caught another Titan. I executed the fleet warp perfectly. He landed right on the designated trap grid. And you know, 2 health, Zirnitra and the Devoter engaged. And don't worry, I'm going to the conclusion with the story. So basically, as Morpheus said in the Matrix, I have dreamed a dream, but now the dream is gone from me, because I will already told you that I failed to kill the Titan. Basically, I was exactly 16 seconds away from pulling off one of the greatest solo capital kills in recent EVE history. And to understand how close this was, basically the avatar have more than 1 million base hull EHP with Gun Imperium Titan feats. So I already burned through my heavy fighter salvos, and because of this my total combined DPS dropped. My total combined DPS dropped from around 100,000 DPS to around 70,000 DPS. And at the moment when Imperium Cyno finally lit and the emergency faxes dropped on grid to save him, the avatar was sitting at 86% hull, meaning he had only around 1 million EHP. So basically, if we will take the 70,000 DPS and the 1 million EHP, it's like 16 seconds of uninterrupted damage to turn that Titan into a wreck. So just 60 more seconds without those faxes, and his story would have been made. And I know the comments will be filled with, if you just do X or Y or Z, you'd have got him. And trust me, I'm replaying every single frame of that fight in my head today. And I am already kicking myself over those missing 16 seconds. And it hurts, but you know, what a rush. So here is the full video of the hunt. Enjoy the ride. And fly safe, and remember, pay your debts, or someone might just burn down 1 trillion ISK of your Alliance assets to collect the debt back. And again, thanks for people who helped me with these events in this story. So for Lord Road, for inviting me to his Phoenix Navy issue kill on the DBSS. So I had the bookmark to create the trap. And two guys from No 1v1 Corp, from Deepwater Hooligans. They were helping me with discussion, story crafting, and many other things. So that's all. Go and watch.
I wear the dust, a nameless face, no blade to draw, no mark, no trace. You count your threats by size and sound, and miss the ones that stay low down. No crest to hang, no tale to tell, no ringing name, no warning bell. You pass me by, don't think it through, a ghost that's standing next to you. While you feast, I set the stage. While you sleep, I turn the page. Every laugh you threw my way, mark the debts you're set to pay. I'm just a man, and that's your mistake. No crown, no spark, no quake to trace. By the time you learn my name, you've already lost the game. I'm just a man, unseen, unchecked, the smallest piece you never protect. You built your walls to keep out war. I walked right through the open door. You never felt the extra hand you never dealt. The rookie lagging at your side, the one you joked and cast aside. I wrote my plans in lines you missed between each order on your list. Each careless word, each sideways glance just tightened up my circumstance. While you drank, I traced your flaws. While you bragged, I learned your laws. Every time you looked away, I moved closer into place. I'm just a man, and that's your mistake. No crown, no spark, no quake to trace. By the time you learn my name, you've already lost the game. I'm just a man, unseen, unchecked, the smallest piece you never protect. You built your walls to keep out war. I walked right through the open door. Not your villain, not your saint. I don't need the mask you paint. You feared the blade, the beast, the call, but never feared the mind at all. I'm just a man, no grand display, but I decide how this ends today. You watch for thunder, brace for flame, and lost it all to just a man. Just a man. Notes in the rain, steel in my hand. Every alley I cross knows where I stand. Half in their world, half in the night. I'm the thing both sides refuse to name right. They move in packs, fangs out, eyes red, but I walk straight and leave them for dead. Hey, 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 hey! I'm the day walker. turn their